This year, Sankalp found an offer for cheap tickets to El Paso, flying out Christmas Day and back New Year's Day. So, he asked ChatGPT to plan a 7-day vacation to explore the desert Southwest. Thanks to AI and our ambitious spirit, we covered a lot of ground. By the end of the week, we had visited 3 national parks, climbed 4 mountain summits, drove more than 1,225 miles, and, somewhat disturbingly and funny, received one harsh Airbnb guest review about the reeking smell of patchouli. We also hiked a lot. Like a lot. In total, we spent 23 hours on the trails, climbed thousands of meters of elevation, and burned more bonus calories in a week than in all of November, 10,763 workout calories. And we did everything: airfare, rental car, gas, lodging, groceries, eating out, park fees, all of it for $1,986.61. Not bad for a holiday. We started in El Paso, landing at 9:30 a.m. to find the city was a Christmas ghost town save one Walgreens. There, we took 2 loaves of sourdough bread I baked and multiplied the loaves like a vegan messiah, sans 5 fish. With peanut butter and strawberry jelly, we cranked out PBJs all week long to nourish us. After looking at the peak while picnicking, we started up North Franklin Mountain, the highest in the El Paso vicinity. It has 661 meters or 2,170 feet of elevation gain on the hike. It was a calm, quiet Christmas hike with gorgeous weather, not too cold and not too hot. We passed a handful of people on the trail, but it was mostly us. Christmas dinner that evening was fully vegan. Empanadas, pozole, stuffed poblanos, agua fresca, proof that a plant-based Christmas dinner can be festive and delicious. I might also note, as I did, that it appeared all the gay Latinos were working at Mamacitas that evening, likely avoiding the awkward home talk where they feel they don't belong, but I'm probably speculating. And yes, we brought the Instapot to cook for ourselves, but it was a special night, and in 7 days we only ate out 5 times. So let's give up one early in the game. The next day we headed to Guadalupe Mountains National Park to summit Guadalupe Peak, 2,657 meters or 8,718 feet, the highest peak in Texas. Recently, I've been feeling older, heavier, less in shape, the usual stuff. But on this hike, we passed at least 50 hikers going up. And on the way down, same thing. And no one passed us, not once. Somewhere between the wind blasting across the ridge and steadily climbing upward, I realized, okay, maybe I'm still doing all right. Meanwhile, Sankalp kindly hiked beside me instead of running the trail, which I know he absolutely considered doing. On day 3, we climbed Hunter Peak, 2,517 meters or 8,258 feet, via the Bear Canyon. Same trailhead, same desert, same sense of awe, but hiking up the Bear Canyon gave us a slight respite from the incessant wind. By now, our legs had stopped asking why and switched to silently negotiating for snacks. Good thing we brought Patchouli for our break at the peak. We saw only 3 backpackers the whole day, and at the summit, winds were gusting 70 miles per hour. Even our Airbnb host texted us to warn about the rare hurricane-force winds tonight. Turns out the winds just arrived early because that night the desert fell silent. And that kind of silence is holy. You lean in and strain to hear, but there's not a sound to be heard. And then there are the stars. They didn't just appear above us. They stretched all the way to the horizon. Growing up, I only saw stars above tree-lined frozen lakes in the dead of winter. But here in the desert, the sky is not something you look up at. It's something you look out into. It's unforgettable. We started day 4 with a gorgeous desert sunrise, and then off on a surprisingly significant hike to the Devil's Hall. After twisting our minds in knots around time as we flip-flopped time zones, we made it to our timed entry at Carlsbad Caverns National Park for the second surprisingly significant hike of the day, an hour down into the earth, and another hour and 15 minutes walking the perimeter of the big room. This is a loop trail that runs around an 8-acre expanse 750 feet below ground. This natural wonder alone is worth a trip. As the blizzard warning swirled all around us, we quickly made it back to our glamping Airbnb for a quick wash in the outdoor shower before temps plummeted. This is the same Airbnb where we had to use the composting toilet. Keep that in mind so you can savor the irony in the tale I'm about to tell. Apparently, throughout these 3 days at this glamping cabin in the desert, the host was silently seething our presence, primarily, she says, because of our reeking smell. In her public Airbnb guest review that appeared days after we left, she went on and on about the reeking smell of patchouli or sandalwood, she couldn't exactly say, which I honestly take as a thinly veiled racist attack, seemingly pointed at the Indian in the mix. But ironically, it was a Swede whose choice of cologne contains patchouli. So yes, the desert gave us both natural beauty and 1-star feedback. You can't win them all. Rather than follow the route ChatGPT had devised, we improvised an alternative to avoid the icy conditions and made it easily to Truth or Consequences. Yes, that is the name of the town, for a well-deserved soak in their hot springs. This private pool looked out over the non-border section of the Rio Grande. After coming back to our senses, we stopped in Hatch, New Mexico, the self-proclaimed chili capital of the world, because priorities. Day 6 belonged to Pistachio Land Farms in Alamogordo, because when someone says, hey, want to see the world's largest pistachio sculpture? The correct answer is always yes. And it turned out to be fascinating. We learned pistachio trees can live over 1,500 years. They originated in Iran or the Middle East, and here in New Mexico, the farmers graft the nut tree onto hardy rootstock. So together, this Frankenstein creation thrives in American soil, because even some trees carry immigrant stories. So yes, we climbed mountains and deepened our nut-based agricultural knowledge. After going nuts, we then hiked the Alcali Flat Trail at White Sands National Park, which was a surreal 4-mile loop. Tonkalp happily dove deep into the gypsum versus selenite, different crystalline structures while having the same molecular composition. One person, who shall remain nameless, was so bold as to ask, what even is a mole? I will leave you to ponder, while the rest of us process how alien beautiful the dunes look. We closed the day with more PBJ while picnicking in the park. We stayed at the Lundin Inn of the Arts in Las Cruces, which was an old restored Mexican territorial home. They required an essay to book a reservation, but we passed the muster, and they were lovely hosts. Our final full day was also the toughest. We climbed the Oregon Mountain Peak, a long, steep, technical trail that follows a canyon, then scrambles up to a gap and follows a rocky ridge to the summit. We passed everyone on this hike too, 4 summits, 4 times being the fastest group in our vicinity. Not that we're tracking it. For New Year's Eve dinner, we dined at P.F. Chang's, the only place we could find after an hour of Googling and calling. And the food was surprisingly delicious, like really good. Unfortunately, the patchouli lady's review came through during dinner, which did sour the mood for a minute, but it's hard to ruin the ecstasy of eating perfectly cooked green beans with a garlic sauce and chili crisp on top. So that's it. In 1 week, we hiked nearly 80 kilometers, burned 11,000 bonus calories, summited 4 desert mountains, visited 3 national parks, soaked in hot springs, learned about 1,500-year-old pistachio trees, were upgraded to first class twice, savored the desert and white sands from many angles, and received 1 legendary Airbnb review about patchouli, all for under $2,000. Honestly, a pretty great way to end the year. Here's to more hiking, more mountaintops, more PBJ sandwiches in strange places, and maybe slightly less patchouli.